Welcome all, and welcome to the CEA Winter Games Dota 2 Day 1 Round 1 matchup between Senator Rerun Mid and Slark Puckerberg, both teams representing meta, so we should have some good banter between the teams from the same companies. My name is Finnick, and I will be solo casting today, as I was not able to get a casting partner, which is a bit unfortunate. It's a bit of a scuffed stream. Haven't been doing a whole lot of casting since I did an event with CCP Games back in October, but you know, we're just chilling, having some fun, playing some Dota, and obviously supporting charity as it were. Not my first time casting CEA, although it has been quite a while. I recognize some names sometimes. I will say, however, that the lobby is unticketed for the duration of the Winter Mini, which means that everybody's names will appear as their usernames and not as their quote-unquote esports names. So hopefully no one minds if I call them what is being shown on stream, but alas, it is the technical requirement for the time being. Bans thus far: Shadow Shaman, Enigma, Bounty Hunter, and Gyrocopter. Senator Rerun Mid on the Radiant side with 24th pick. Slark Puckerberg, Dire side with the first overall pick of the draft. We're just about done with the first set of bans. Some heroes to always look forward to on the current patch. Heroes like Dragon Knight are very, very popular right now, especially in that one position, but can obviously be played 2 and occasionally 3, although really with his farming ability and the ability to get gold on the map, he's significantly better as a 1. Obviously, that Enigma has seen some rise and falls in popularity as well, and that's been banned away. But and Lina being banned off, that is a very, very, very strong mid right now. Being played that magic damage Lina build that we have not seen really be meta in years, but with the combination of Aragonims and Aragonim's Shard, as well as the, I can't remember the name of the fire, but it's the facet, but it's the one that isn't Laguna Blade, gives you extra fiery soul facet, is absolutely devastating to a lot of heroes. Axe also being banned away, just relatively strong pick, always very comfortable for a lot of different 3 players. We see Lich and Tusk. Lich is also very good right now, can kind of take over the game as a support and take over a lot of team fights. Tusk also mostly being seen in support, but I have heard rumblings of core Tusk, and if you look at Dota 2 Pro Tracker, it's not... Actually, I'm going to double check Dota 2 Pro Tracker on core Tusk. I have seen some rumblings for it. Yeah, so, I mean, it's pretty much entirely played support, but... and very, very... lots of games on support, about 8,000 games, but occasionally off lane and mid game by specialists. Bans also Abba, probably still one of the strongest supports right now. Just pumps out so much healing with the Aghanim Scepter, and then Magnus Drow being banned away. Magnus, obviously, very strong team fighter with reverse polarity, and the cleave is always very nice to have. And Empower and Drow Ranger protecting this Ursa pick that they've decided to go with. Ursa not really wanting to get kited. It's a bit of an early Ursa pick. Going support 1 means that this is going to be a support pick, and they're going to try to save their last counter pick available for 3. And try to secure that matchup. Ursa, you know, does Ursa things. He's a bear, he gets an axe. He does bear with axe things. With the all-important Battle Fury build that is so common, just farming up a storm. Not a Storm Spirit, though. But yeah, can be really active early after he gets Battle Fury plus Blink, but obviously still scales really strong into the late game and gives you bonus damage for the Pudge. We don't know, with a double strength pick of Tusk and Pudge, if this Pudge is going to be going core or support yet. Tusk typically being played as a support is kind of even split between 5 and 4 according to Dota 2 Pro Tracker, so really could go either lane. A bit more games on 5 and high MMR, so some extra kill pressure there, and obviously Pudge can combo pretty well. Or just be a core and be extremely tanky and very annoying to deal with. Phoenix being picked up by Slark Puckerberg. Phoenix is one of those heroes right now where for a couple patches, she's been able to be played mid and off lane. Pretty much only slightly less popular as an offlane pick than as either of the support picks. So could see it 3-4-5, could technically see it mid if Slark Puckerberg has a Phoenix mid player. I know one of the Immortals that I occasionally play with has been enjoying the Phoenix. So yeah, very strong hero. The Dying Light facet is absolutely insane and has very high win rates, especially as that core offlane pick, but very good in both support pickup. So you see the Snapfire. So technically this is 3 flex picks for Senator rerun mid. Tusk most likely just going to stay in that support role. But with the Pudge and the Snapfire, you never really know. Snapfire has kind of always been this flexible pick. Pretty much exclusively played for right now in high MMR pubs, but always with the Phoenix being picked up, getting a Snapfire into the Phoenix pickup is a good counter matchup just for the egg. So even though it's likely going to be a Snapfire 4 and a Tusk 5 and force this Pudge to be core, we shall see when we actually get into the game. Senator rerun mid, though. Now to pick. I They have to pick one here because they're going to want to save 24 pick for mid. This Phoenix staying as a flex might be important for Slark Puckerberg, but considering that they don't have the overall counterpicking, they actually go for the Storm Spirit, so they're counterpicking their 1, unless this is a Pudge 1, in which case they'd be counterpicking 3, but Storm, pretty strong right now. I'm not exactly sure what the Storm matchup into Phoenix looks like at the moment. If this is a core Phoenix, we'll see what Slark Puckerberg wants to pick here. They might just pick their mid and hold off on flexing this Phoenix 3-4, and it's just kind of give a better idea of what they want to see in the rest of the draft. If it is a core Phoenix, I expect some things to kind of be being used, some of these bands to be used to protect it. But as I mentioned, really depends. They could use 23rd pick for mid, but I would imagine they pick their mid here with the Storm showing. Not exactly sure what goes well into Storm. I don't play mid. I'm a position 3 player, and I am Legend, unfortunately. I will say, I just got to Legend. I started Dota casting as a Guardian scrub, and I am now a Legend scrub. It's so satisfying. Thank you, Double Down Tokens. You and Winter Wyvern 3 carried me all the way from Crusader to Legend. Sniper being picked up into the Storm Spirit. Obviously, technically can be flex support. I don't particularly like Sniper 4 right now. But it is his most played, second most played position, high MMR pubs, behind mid. I'd imagine it's just gonna be that Sniper mid into Storm Spirit. And they'll have this last pick to pick 3 or another support for the, if this is a Phoenix 3. Slardar and DK being taken off the map. DK still probably the strongest one in the patch, as we already mentioned. Also just lanes good into a lot of different things. Can deal with the Phoenix egg as well, and just farms up a Storm. We see Center Rerun mid actually banning out 3s, so they do think that this is a support Phoenix. Still, Slardar, Timbersaw, both of those would be very good into this matchup. You have 2 strength heroes and a high strength universal hero in that Snapfire, so taking the Timbersaw off the table makes a lot of sense. They do have percent health damage of the Phoenix, though, and this is actually kind of... I'm biased because I play it, but like it's kind of a decent core Wyvern game if they want to go with that. Instead, they're going to go with the Lycan. So Lycan 3, going to be picked up for Slark Puckerberg, and a Weaver for Center Run mid in that 1 position. I'm not the biggest fan of playing Lycan because he's not the kind of hero that I'm most familiar with, but he has kind of seen a resurgence, where the last patch or 2 go in that Alpha Wolves facet in offlane, and being able to build, aura items or things like, occasionally going into Oblivion Staff items, like basically everyone that wants to right-click goes into. Either way, we are just about ready to go. I still don't know, what position this Pudge Snapfire Tusk is. I'm just going to assume it's Pudge 3, Snap 4, Tusk 5. But since I'm not familiar with the players, I'm going to hold out on filling that in my sheet quite yet. But Slark Puckerberg with a bit more of a traditional draft. Got that Ursa. I say traditional. I mean, Lycan is, even though he's seen a resurgence lately, still kind of a niche pick. When he gets played, he can get played in whatever position is best for him. So, occasionally that's 1, sometimes it's 3, that kind of thing. So, really kind of excited to see how that goes. I'm just going to take a look at the starting item inventories here, just see if I can tell who supports. So that is a Tusk support. Pudge did go the smoke and the blood grenade, so this, I believe, means it's a core Snapfire. Which, again, if you're going to pick a core Snapfire, is going to be into things like a Phoenix. Now, obviously, this is a Phoenix support here, most likely position 4. So, getting a little bit less value out of killing the egg than you would from a Phoenix core, but still, you know, I still would be a little bit concerned about the Phoenix pickup just because they have percent health damage and two strength heroes and a high strength universal hero. Also, just a lot of DPS and shredding ability from this Ursa, so we'll see how they play it. The Storm Spirit's going to be really important for making plays. The Core Pudge is always going to be really important for making plays. Being able to pick the sniper out of the backline is kind of going to be the major important thing for President P in a lot of these fights, as the Ursa is going to try to get on top of the backline and try to get on top of this Weaver and shut her down in fights. But either way, you know, could kind of see it going either way. I haven't really casted a whole lot of Lycan recently because I haven't done a whole lot of casting recently, but we'll see how that works out for them. Of course, just filling out some things. We have a pause at the start of the game, and we are just about ready to go. Not sure if it's Tusk 4 or Pudge 4 though, but and yeah, we see the Snapfire instantly queuing up that Rod of Atos to go into Glepnir, as you do on Core Snapfire. Sakava is a reference to Koifa. Phantasma in a bit of trouble, a little bit late on his team's smoke out of base, and ends up paying the price for it, taking down for first blood. But now Lilas over the wall with the Q. They have some more damage with the Shrapnel, come back on the high ground on Apita. They might be able to trade for 2 kills here, at the very least onto the Tusk. Uses a Fairy Fighter to stay alive, but gets taken down by the Phoenix at the end of it all. And now they're continuing to move on to President P. He's got mana, but no way out. Although 5716X was able to hook President P and get him out of dodge.
The battle begins.
1 kill to 1. Other side, Sakuchi was not able to steal that array, so it's 3 runes to 1 in favor of Slark Puckerberg, so going to be ending up with the overall gold lead off the start of that. We are now into laning phase. Just some trades, as you do. Nothing too strong in terms of the level 1s. We see J-Blade taking some damage from this Lich and from this Ursa. But Snapfire, still pretty tanky. Not melee in our Ursa, which melee strength in Ursa would hurt a whole lot more, but being a ranged universal hero with some strength is able to still trade onto the Ursa with the scatter shot from distance and be a bit better when they're able to space the wave. Yes, Denies in this mid lane actually going quite favorably for the Storm Spirit. Not something I would necessarily expect for a sniper lane. Of course, this being the first round of the tournament, the way the brackets worked out, these are the lower seeded teams, so might have an MMR difference between the two players, but typically, you know, Sniper has much better CS deny capability in a vacuum than the Storm Spirit will, and President P is just taking advantage of just being better, as it were, making this lane go very well for himself. Other side also getting a nice CS advantage bot side, 12 and 1 to 8 and 1. Not massive, but still exists in top side as well. About even 9 and 3 to 8 and 1. As you see, the level 2s have been hit, but level 3 on Lilas. Did go for the tag team on the Tusk, so less save, more damage, as it were. And solo casting. Haven't had to solo cast in a while, but it is what it is. Better damage on the Lilas. Gets a frost shield and is able to make his way away. But of course, the little shredder does quite a bit of damage, even at level 1. Let's make it a bit difficult for the Ursa, but I mean, this sniper is absolutely just getting gapped right now on bot side the Lycan as well. Pretty much double the CS at least between the two. So, I mean, Lycan, he's got the Wolves. Did go the Alpha Wolves facet, but yeah, it just hasn't been able to take advantage of the Wolves for the CS deny war nearly as effectively as he wanted to. 5716S. Staying bot side, comes back in with the Rot. Some damage coming back in from the Phoenix. Goes as the Icarus dive. 5716X still able to run away. His other side gets some damage in with Sakuchi. Now has that Falcon Blade, of course.
You're on a nest.
Of course, anyone viewing the stream on Twitch, I also stream on YouTube. Should have been linked with the rest of them, but if you have a monitor that is higher quality than 1080p, I do stream 1440p 60 on YouTube. More damage on the Lilas with the tag team and a little shredder. He's trying to turn that back around, gets the Q in, but Peta and J-Blade able to barely take him down. Snowball saves himself from Peta, gets away from the Frost Shield, but one more auto attack from Phantasma does him in. Still a trade of a 1 for a 4. Very nice for J-Blade and company. Especially because he was down in CS, or especially because they were about even in CS between the Snapfire and the Ursa. Just going to be able to snowball a bit more effectively. Honestly, a lot of I wasn't able to do research on these players beforehand. Kind of a bit of a scuffed situation, I know, but I'm really wondering if there's an MMR gap right now between these teams. Especially in these core positions, mid and bot, because I mean, bot side, the Lycan's starting to get better on himself, but as you see Peta roam mid and take down COVID-25. I mean, this is an absolute dumpster fire for the sniper. Just, you had the counter pick in the mid lane, we're confident in the sniper and in the Storm Spirit, and now you're just half of his CS, significantly fewer denies, and this Storm Spirit's going to get a very early Witchblade. We see some dives coming in top side. Legolas onto J-Blade. Gets the scatter shot out. If he can get Little Shredder, he kills him. He does! Oh, just outplayed. Outplayed in the 2v1. Meanwhile, mid lane, President P hits level 6. 5716X makes his way in, and now they're just diving under tower. The Pudge tanking it up. Down goes the Sniper, and they trade aggro back to the Storm, who pops a bottle and gets back to farming. Scans coming in towards the 7-minute runes. We see Peta and Phantasma starting the fight for it. The Snapfire TPing back in. Phantasma gets the gaze back onto Peta, but Peta's now running with the tag team. The Fire Snap Cookie as well. Little shredder from Phantasma as he gets the Frost Shield, but stopped by the shards. J-Blade scatter shots and autos for the kill. So both teams will be able to pick up their respective wisdom runes. It was a nice attempt from Phantasma, but with the Snapfire TPing back in, just right in the right place at the right time, couldn't really make too much work, and the Pudge has now come topside. Is Ursa really the only one having a relatively even game? But as I said, at the Lycan now, 30 CS, only 9 CS down, 10 CS down. Has been taking these side camps, though. So as we take a look at the net worth, still pretty dead on even with the Weaver. But this Ursa falling behind the Snapfire pretty quickly now, 600 goldish behind. Be late to the Battle Fury timing, and obviously the Sniper is currently sitting with less net worth than the Pudge support. Fruitcake trying to get away from the Weaver, who uses the time lapse to get back as another dive mid lane onto the Sniper, puts President P even further ahead, and he gets his favorite type of rune as a Storm Spirit. That good old regeneration rune. Make a zip play across the map with it if he really wants to. Well, the regen is active, but hasn't really decided to go bot with it quite yet. PETA towards the secret shop right now. Might be looking at something for Fruitcake. Other side making his way in. Gets a shot in after the Sakuchi. In comes the Ray. The Sunbeam doesn't do nearly enough damage. The other side picks up Fruitcake, and the Walrus Punch onto Sakava pulls him out of dodge. As the plays were made topside on the other side of the map, they're able to take down the Lich and the Ursa. Some nice damage on the Pudge, and 5 out of the top 6 net worth now. This Pudge sitting ahead of the Ursa. Sitting for Senator rerun mid. Some meta on meta violence today. And it's all in good fun. Icarus Dive on the other side. They're going to try to make a move with the Sunray. Other side, time lapse up in 2 seconds, so should be able to get out of this one. Get some damage back on the Fruitcake. Time lapse is out of the way into the Sakuchi. Phantasma's here a little bit too late. Gets the Frost Shield on the Fruitcake. J-Blade's here. Fire Snap Cookie. Stopped by this Gaze, though, and J-Blade with the Scatter Shot and the ever-important Little Shredder takes down that support. But Takava trying to dive under tower on J-Blade, taking up the damage with the Wolves as Phantasma finds other side. J-Blade still in a bit of trouble, trying to dive through the trees, gets the Scatter Shot back out, but Sakava continuing to move in with the ultimate. Getting more damage onto J-Blade right now. This should be a dead Snapfire with Phantasma coming back in. J-Blade barely staying alive. Fire Snap Cookie, and finally goes down as President P kills COVID-25 elsewhere on the map. So a couple slides of life from Slark Puckerberg. They were able to get a couple kills bot, but man, the Storm Spirit really running away with it right now. Want to get a very early Witchblade, only about 200 gold away from that at 10 minutes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Sakava. And Phantasma. Really the only lane that had a game here from Slark Puckerberg. They are second in net worth, but still almost 2,000 gold behind on that Storm Spirit who's snowballing this game. Helm Dom completed for Sakava. Still got to go into Helm Overlord. Other side, though, moving on to Phantasma. Sakuchi getting the bug stack out, but Fruitcake is here, and that makes it a 2v3 and not something they want. Meanwhile, top side, J-Blade getting the Mortimer's Kisses out on Lilas, who's already used the Enrage. PETA, we can find a snowball, might actually be able to take him down with the tag team, but decides against it.
Dire's middle tower
Instead,
has fallen.
going to just play to get the Ursa off the waves. Man is not going to have good Battle Fury timing. We already described that earlier in the game, but you know, only sitting on the cornucopia at 11.5 minutes does not feel good for the Ursa. Especially because he's going to start getting out-farmed by every single core on the enemy team. A little bit of a pick towards this Lich. And Fruitcake actually in trouble, but Sakava ults in. Top of the Pudge, though, and President P moving in with the Snowball. Sakava running away. Keep coming in from the rest of the team, and the Sunray keeps getting some damage down. Icarus Dive back into the egg as Lilas moves on to 5761. Takes down the Pudge. They're defending their stacks pretty effectively right now, and Sakava very low health. But might want to continue this fight. Fruitcake here with Lilas. President P zipping back over the wall, and PETA trying to dive. Gonna snowball back in. Other side makes his way with the Zakuchi. Lilas trying to continue this up, but the Walrus Punch comes down, and so does the Assassinate. Down goes the support Tusk.
Hunting bounties.
And 2-for-1 kills. Favor Slark, Puckerberg in their triangle, and Lilas continue to move in, but 57-16 got the Blink Dagger. Comes in with the ultimate, and Rage comes in from Lilas, though. Gets the damage reduction out with the Frost Shield as well. Down goes the Pudge, now J-Blade a bit far forward from the rest of his team. Fruitcake with the Icarus dive just gives chase a little bit. Other side's here. President P zipping in, deletes Fruitcake though. COVID-25 looks for the Assassinator on the other side, gets some right as the Sakuchis. And Slark Puckerberg are actually winning these fights. President P just not able to get into the fights nearly fast enough, but the enrage is down from Lilas and he's caught in the shards. A couple more auto attacks might do him in. Gaze from Phantasma, in comes the Snowball, bowling in with President P and the Walrus Punch into Mortimer's Kisses. Down goes the Ursa. A disconnect or internet lag, it looks like, from Phantasma, and a pause from Storm Spirit. Just double checking if they're okay. Didn't even realize this was Senator Rerun mid, pausing it because they noticed Phantasma wasn't doing anything. Oh, he froze. Yeah. See, good sportsmanship, though, honestly. This Lich is still dead, but, you know. Actually, maybe not. No mana on President P, but he's gonna zip one more time. J-Blade picks it up with the scatter shot. Still, this Storm Spirit, I mean, it's tough, because I don't know the MMR of these players, but something tells me President P is significantly higher MMR than the rest of this lobby right now. Because the man has been so efficient, 6-0-5. You know, going Witchblade, has the second Oblivion staff already, going into that Orc of Malevolence. Damage coming in, Pudge, Dismember on Sakava, but Sunbeam keeps him alive for the time being. J-Blade trying to save 57-16X with the Fire Snap Cookie, but it goes the wrong way. Down goes the Pudge, and Fruitcake dives with the Icarus dive. Other side's here, turn back around, the egg comes in, but the little Shredder should do him in. Other side picks up that kill. Sakava, though, ulted up on the Lich. COVID-25. Cocks the Assassinate, but stops it mid-firing as J-Blade goes ahead and TP's out. Goes 1-for-1 on this bottom side of the map. Ursa
Tower is under attack.
starting to go into recovery mode, still sitting
Dire's middle tower is under
quite a
attack.
ways away, 600, 700 gold away from the Battle Fury. So looking at a 16-minute Battle Fury at the earliest. Not the worst Battle Fury timing I've ever seen on Ursa, but
Bottom tower is under attack.
still not the absolute greatest. But was able to recover the game. Recover his game actually quite a bit off a couple of the fights. COVID-25 on the Sniper as well. I mean, he's only sitting on a Wraithband right now. Hasn't even completed his farming item, which I believe is coming out on Courier right now for his Maelstrom. Have to imagine, right? No, his Courier's not active. Okay. Yeah, he accidentally queued up the full Dragon Lance without keeping the Mithril Hammer from the Maelstrom. Need that Maelstrom as Sniper, come on. Actually want to check on the Snapfire. Went Rod of Atos and not completing Gleipnir. Instead going for BOTs. Going to try to make some better map presence out of the Snapfire and be able to rotate better with the Storm Spirit, so understandable, although still gonna miss out on some of that farming potential. 57-16X though, finds COVID-25 in the jungle, and not a whole lot the Sniper can do in that moment. To take a look at the Dota Plus win probability, 70% for Senator Rerun mid. Sitting pretty with a pretty substantial gold lead right now, 5k, 16 minutes. Well, the experience advantage. Of course, 5k, significant chunk of that, 2.5k at least, is on this Storm Spirit. Now as the Orc of Malevolence going Kaya, I mean, just Storm. I mean, this is just a beautiful Storm game, to be honest. full of juicy targets there on the back line. We see President P come in, makes his Orchid known. Sakava ults the 716X, gets the Dismember on the support, and President P continues to move in on a Sakava. The Elder Drag, or the Ancient Dragon, stopping President P in his tracks, though, and in comes cover 25. They're going to try to get on a 5716P, and they got him with the Assassinate. Sakava dives under the tower, now caught up in the Electric Vortex, and a TP coming in from J-Blade, gets the Rod of Atos back down onto the Lycan and takes him away with the Mortimer's Kisses, and now Lilas in a bit of trouble, stuck with only one of his supports around. Other side gets taken down, though, by the Frost Shield from Phantasma as he tries to Sakuchi away, and now Lilas moving back in, gets the Enrage off onto Pita, who's trying to get out with the Snowball right now on a cover 25. J-Blade in trouble as well, kind of in a 2v1 scenario as President P just on the side of the fight, can't really find an inroad at the moment. Assassinate takes down Pita, and the fight goes the way of Slark Puckerberg once again, despite not having the gold lead and the Storm Spirit present. President P just could not pull the trigger. The fight got way too spread out for him, and he couldn't find the valuable targets that he needed to delete. Meanwhile, the rest of his core is kind of running into the fight, taking a couple of trickles, save your friends, and actually being split up quite beautifully by this Ursa and Lich and Phoenix. Cyber's recovering his game, you know? Man's got 3 kills now. So, has his Maelstrom going into that Dragonlance. Yeah, we saw that 70% win rate, now down to 59%. But yeah, game far from over. And obviously when it comes to late game scaling, having a Sniper and an Ursa is going to do so much more damage late than this Weaver and Storm and Snapfire. So, I mean, not to mention the Lycan. So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, obviously, Lycan goes Helm Overlord and then Aura items, so really his damage coming from other sources and being able to get that utility to the rest of his team. Storm zipping on a Phantasma, so Dismember lands on a Fruitcake, but Lycan's here with the ultimate. Electric Vortex onto the egg, who gets popped, and the Little Shredder not here in the nick of time. One more pop in the egg, gets out with full health, and down goes both the Snapfire and the Pudge. Oh, so close. I think there was an uphill miss there. Maybe that stopped them from getting that egg, who exploded right as the last auto attack was hitting. Now Phantasma, Invis, gaze on a Pita, Sakava here, gets Yules back up by Pita, COVID-25 trying to get some damage back in his other side, DP's in and Sakuchi's, President P zips around, finds Phantasma, and down goes the Lich. Fruitcake. Put it on the side, in the jungle, between other side and President P. And you love to see water rune, water runes from the trusty shovel
Radiant's bottom tower is under
as a bottle carrier.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Radiant are scanning.
Bit of silence. Some farming up. Some smokes. Stack of a Phantasma, COVID 25. Silas topside. Dancing with J-Blade. Moves are actually made mid on the President P. Double zip away. Yules to get away from the chain. Frost. In comes Mortimer's cookies, or snap cookies, as Phantasma is taken down with the combination of the Mortimer's kisses and everything else, but he actually stays alive for a little bit longer. President P can't dive the back line, and now other side, Sakuchi trying to pull out a COVID 25, but the sniper's able to get out. Everything else, and the hook barely misses on the Fruitcakes, who finally goes down. They're able to trade the Lycan and the Phoenix and not lose anyone for Senator rerun mid.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant structures are fortified.
Let me relax a little, but Pulse was win prob back up to 71%. Pulse pulled back all the way to 60.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But a lot of the advantage that President P had early on kind of gone away.
Dire's middle
Still
tower
has,
fallen.
as a percentage of his gold lead, hasn't necessarily accelerated the GPM as much. Couple of missed opportunities on fight. Still hasn't died, but, you know, hasn't been able to farm too much. 5716X. Blinks away from the high ground, but the Ursa is chasing. The roots coming in from these Helmdom creeps. Lilas gets the kill, and now Icarus dive on a PETA. Responds with the Yule Scepter. Now Sunbeam. President P dives back into the fight with the zip. Gets the Walrus punch back onto the Phoenix as Lilas continues to move on a PETA, and the shards go the wrong way. Doesn't quite split up the Tusk. Instead goes 2 for 1 in favor of Slark Puckerberg, and they're playing these scrappy fights incredibly well, despite their lane losses in basically all 3 lanes. Of the very list in 2, J-Blade, that's a bit of a feed. TPing in 1v4, no one else around, drops some Mortimer's kisses to maybe kill the sniper, but there's just too much damage right now from Slark Puckerberg, and once again, they're playing scrappy and winning a lot of these fights that they really shouldn't, considering the gold deficit right now, but they swung the win probability back to 59%.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And the longer this game goes on, without any, I mean, 56% now. I mean, with those 2 lanes going as poorly as they did for Slark Puckerberg, I never would have imagined they're in this game 25 minutes in. But I mean, the longer this game goes on, the more they're going to scale. And you know, a lot of these heroes, some scenario on mid, just don't go as far late game as Slark Puckerberg's heroes. I mean, still, this Ursa kind of unstoppable right now, sitting 4 kills, but once he has that BKB, we'll be able to run rampant in the fights with the smoke. J-Blade pops on a Sakava, but he doesn't actually see the Lycan, instead goes for the root onto the Ursa. He's able to enrage it off. The dive onto the backside of the fight, though. They find the sniper. The egg comes down. They're trying to kill the egg right now. The Phoenix ends up falling, and now the Yule Scepter onto the Ursa. They cannot make it stick. Lilas now caught between some shards in the hard place. The Sakava's on the side of the fight, can't really do anything. Phantasma frost shields himself and is trying to get away, but this might just end up being a full wipe. 5760 next, trying to run away from the Helmdom creeps. Gets taken down by the Ancient.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Down goes the Lich, ends up being 4 for 2. As Sakava was able to get out of that fight just barely. Waiting on these BKBs, that fight could have gone significantly worse for Slark Puckerberg, but it did go pretty badly for them regardless.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
And now we wait. If I had a color caster, we'd be able to talk about something more here, but, you know, it is what it is. By the way, since this is video gaming and I can discuss this, fans of Final Fantasy XIV should know the voice of Graha Tia plays Fiero in Wicked, and he absolutely killed it. I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan of the source material, but like Wicked, actually very good movie. Highly recommend, especially if you like musicals, and especially if you like the source material. They really did the source material justice, and also like kind of everyone killed it in their roles. Like Ariana Grande was great as Galinda, and obviously talk about our cat boy as Fiero was amazing, and Cynthia Erivo did phenomenally as Elphaba as well, so highly recommend. Very good movie. I think they're gonna do a re-release as a sing-along in-theater version soon. Lich goes down. Just in time for Christmas, but yeah, really, really good stuff. Kind of the last movie I saw in theaters. Oh, Ursa in Trouble, J-Blade. Under the tower and blinking from 5760 next with that dismember into the walrus punch. Peter gets the kill. The last movie I saw in theaters before Wicked was actually all the way last year with Across the Spider-Verse. Other side gets out. President P dives on the sniper. It's a silence. Fruitcake with the Icarus dive. Sakava's here. Sniper goes down. President P runs away, but Sakava continuing to chase. President P doesn't have a TP. Yes, he does, actually. Just a little bit of a visual glitch. Yeah, go see Wicked if you haven't already. Very good. Also, when is my Spider-Verse Part 3? Across the Spider-Verse was the best movie released that year. Not even like, I'm not even a Marvel fan. That was just the best movie that released that year. It is, I mean, both of the Spider-Verse movies thus far have been absolutely astounding treats for the eyes, but the writing is so good in Across the Spider-Verse. And just, I mean, as an animated movie, it is one of the best, like, animated movies. Definitely, like, top one CG animated, 3D animated movies I've ever seen. Like, they outdid the original Spider-Verse, which already had that distinction as far as, 3D CG animation goes. Ursa. Trying to find President P. He's got completed Parasma now, as well as a Kaya San. This man is just gonna be unkillable. I mean, still hasn't died. 9-0 and 13 on the Storm Spirit. The Weaver's also up with them at the moment. Has that Aegis, of course. Oh, it's Jonathan Bailey. That's the name of the actor for Fiero. And Graha Tia. Did I mention, okay. Because the character he plays in the movie is very different from Graha Tia. There's a little bit of a tonal shock if you knew that. I went into the theater not knowing that Fiero is Graha Tia. I'm like, I recognize this voice from somewhere. I wonder what it is. Oh, it's Catboy. It's great. Down goes the Phoenix. Phantasma on the Lich, force-staffs himself back onto the high grounds. Should be able to survive that. This is the Ancient Black Dragon. Does some damage to other sides. Akushi gets away. Yeah, imagine my surprise. I literally messaged one of my 14 friends that night. Bit more of an engagement on the high ground. You'll Scepter and they get away. Still have this Aegis on the Weaver, though, and 14 seconds on the Phoenix. You will have Egg when they're back up. Yeah, it's I mean, if I had to pick a favorite performance from that movie, it would definitely be Jonathan Bailey as Fiero. Because the man is literally, I want that man cast as every single Prince Charming in every single movie from here on out. Because he is that good at the role, man. Just the way he carries himself and the charisma and and he's so good at singing. I mean, like, as I said, everyone killed it. I know people are talking about, you know, Ariana Grande doing and Best Supporting Actress potentially, and she did a really good job, don't get me wrong. As I said, everyone killed it, but if I had to pick favorite performance on that movie, it has to be Jonathan Bailey. That was so good. I mean, also just the dancing through life scene is such, in the library, is such an insanely good scene. Like, the entire thing was done with practical effects. Oh man, it's such a visually pleasing musical number, and such a, I mean, great song, great performance, all that good stuff. High ground defense has been pretty good from Slark Puckerberg here. And they've done that actually without Lilas, who's been kind of pushing with the wolves from the Lycan, trying to get some more gold. President P, though, sees there's no Ursa, who has to TP back in, and actually goes down pretty quickly after taking on the sniper. And now other side alone on the high ground as the Lich comes back up with the Chain Frost. Phantasma, Walrus Punch back up and gets taken down, but other side all alone on the high ground once again. But President P bought back, zipped into the fight, takes down the Ursa, and the only buyback available on a core is that Ursa right now. The Lycan goes down. He actually had buyback. Ends up being 1 for 5. Buybacks available on 3 heroes from Slark Puckerberg, 2 of which are cores, but President P took that personally.
Middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
And yeah, Dota Plus, only giving it 74% at the moment, which I think is kind of ludicrous. We're just about at that 500 gold per minute lead that me and my co-casters like to call a schlacking. President P dives in, Walrus Punch as well from Peta. Now diving, the Snowball takes him all the way up onto the high ground and the fountain, and they've got the fear back in onto Peta. Heals himself up to dodge the rest of the high ground shots. Fountain shots, I should say. But he still goes down. President P is forced to zip out as they take down those racks. 2 sets of racks down. And Glyph is available for Slark Puckerberg the next time the push happens, but really only 1 T3 instead of racks remain. Their base is devastated. Still have their buybacks. No, they do not. They fought out. And you can see, I mean, they have their buybacks timing, but they have just bought out completely. I can't help but think that's a little bit of a mistake, not saving for buybacks, but as I see, the only buyback available right now is the Pudge. Other side on the fruitcake, but the Ursa dives in, tries to find his way onto J-Blade, manages to get out of dodge. Talk about continuing to fight. President P now into the fight. TP in from 5716X, and now Lilas BKBs to get away from President P. His other side onto the back line, trying to get Sakaba, now gets taken down, but the Chain Frost is ravaging through these 2 heroes. But President P spots his entrance onto the backside of the fight, onto the sniper, takes him down. J-Blade trying to take down the egg one more time, but it explodes just in time for the Phoenix. Now Peta's here with the Walrus Punch. Lilas diving back into the fight, ends up caught up by the Yule Scepter. The Phoenix uses herself to try to stay alive, but other side just deals the damage freely, kills both heroes. Triple kill for President P, and only 2 buybacks are available from Slark Puckerberg. Their base is devastated. Center rerun mid might go for the end here. GG not called in the air quite yet. 33 seconds on the Phoenix, 15 seconds on the Lycan, 15 seconds, 14 seconds now on the Sniper. So they're going to have one more fight left in them with the Glyph. They're going to have to buy back on the Ursa, though. Peta now has Ags, Walrus kick. Damage onto the T4s now.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And a buyback from the Ursa. Everyone else is back up. The last T4 falls.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
They're slaving the Glyph of the Ancient itself. Other side, it's got on by Lilas, but he's able to get out with the Hurricane Pike. Lilas dodging a hook. Coming over high ground now, Jayblade just absolutely rips through support with a little shredder and dive onto the backside. The sniper goes down. Fruitcake's now in trouble. Has to Yules to get away from the silence of that Orchid Malevolence, and Icarus dives back towards the base, but he's down. The Ursa's down. Sakava, last member of his team, alive, all the way in the fountain. Another side, and President P want to make something out of this. One for the road, perhaps, to get the Electric Vortex up, and Sakava BKBs as Fruitcake dives out of the base, takes PETA with him. Fruitcakes and Sakava all alone. GG's called. Sakava Walrus kicked back into the rest of the team from center rerun mid. They're going to take down Fruitcakes as well. Goes into the egg, but will not matter. The base is done, and Senator rerun mid win game number 1. We will be right back after a quick break with more Dota. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back after this. Welcome on, welcome all, and welcome back to the CEA Winter Games matchup between Senator Rerun Mid and Slark Puckerberg. Senator Rerun Mid winning game number 1. Ignore the little marker next to Slark Puckerberg that was set incorrectly. But yeah, Senator Rerun Mid won game number 1 in the best of 3. Winner moves on, loser is out.
Radiant team ban.
Bans thus far common between game number 1 and game number 2. Shadow Shaman and Gyrocopter. Expect a storm ban from Slark Puckerberg this game. Cannot let President B get that one.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds. Radiant remaining. Team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
So Abolich and DK being banned out by Center we are on mid.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Dusker.
Seconds remaining.
Tusk being picked up by Slark Puckerberg. Was picked up by Center Rerun Mid last time around. Of course, they did ban out that Storm Spirit. Excuse me. And it's Warlock for Senator Rerun Mid. I do not like playing against the support. It's one of my least favorite sports to play against, just in general.
Ten seconds remaining.
Peevil did get nerfed though,
5
so
seconds remaining.
might not be as good, but still definitely possible.
Dire team ban.
OD also banned out, so they're respect banning this mid. Center Rerun Mid did pick it in the second rotation this last time around.
5 seconds remaining.
And they're continuing to wait.
Radiant team ban. Radiant
And Lifestealer as well being banned away. Bit interesting to see the Lifestealer banned since they've shown that they're willing to pick Phoenix. Enigma was banned last game, and this time it's being picked up. The ban the Disruptor. Now, the Enigma pickup is this early. Means it's most likely going support, but, you know, I mean, there are a lot of BKB piercing stuns still on the table. There's Beastmaster, there's Winter Wyvern. Just thinking of heroes that can be getting ranged BKB piercing stuns out. So a bit interesting to see it like this, especially without a whole lot of protection. Yes, Disruptor does protect it, but I don't know. I feel like this Enigma pick can be pretty answered, which makes me more likely to think it's an Enigma support and not an Enigma 3. But definitely Slark Puckerberg could draft around it. I mean the obvious is Beastmaster. More common, again, if Slark Puckerberg has a Wyvern 3 player, Wyvern 3 is actually insane into Enigma. That hero, like, it is absolutely brutal as the Enigma, because if you play, especially if it's a core Enigma, because Wyvern just ults you, and so long as your Eidolons are up, you just die. And there's the Winter Wyvern. Don't know if this is going to be core support, but, you know, it's tough, man. Like, this Enigma pick, it's the most obvious Wyvern or Beastmaster answer, right? For Slark Puckerberg. Now, it is a bit early to pick this if it were a core Wyvern. Typically, you would want to pick this and be able to use your next 2 bands to protect it if you're playing core. So this is probably going to be a Wyvern support. But still just yeah, I mean, it's a pretty obvious Wyvern pick. The other thing you could do here, because Rubik's not banned away, is if this is Wyvern core, you could also just pick Rubik, right? Didn't even think about the Rubik. And now with the Magnus, okay. With the Magnus as well, right? With the Magnus, Center Rerun mid has to pick a Rubik, right? Because otherwise otherwise Slark Puckerberg just picks it. I mean, like, maybe they don't have a Rubik or Wyvern mid player, right? Or core player, right? Maybe their mid player doesn't play Rubik, maybe their 3 doesn't play Wyvern, right? But, like, you have Warlock, Enigma, Magnus, and Rubik is on the table. You pick Rubik, right? Because even if your mid player is not the greatest Rubik mid player, or even if your Wyvern 3 player is not the greatest Wyvern 3 player, it is so good for a Rubik right now. It is so obvious. I mean, I'm just legend brain, but also, like, Warlock, Enigma, Magnus. Can you name 3 better spells for Rubik to have? Then, like, it is, yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
And obviously Wyvern can go mid as well if their mid player has played Wyvern mid. There aren't a whole lot of people that play Rubik 3, especially outside of high MMR pubs, because it is kind of a very situational hero, even though I spam it. I mean, just Wyvern core in general, even though it's been kind of meta or on the fringe of meta for a while. Yeah, there's Rubik. I told you! Like, either this Rubik or this Wyvern's gonna go core. One of them's gonna go core. If I had to pick, I would say you'd go Wyvern 3 here and put the Rubik 5 and put the Rubik support,
10 seconds
and then pick something like and then pick some sort of tanky mid to round out your draft. Something like a Kunkka would be, I think, pretty good here.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Obviously, if you sick the Rubik mid, you can pick 3. Same if you sick the Wyvern mid. Between the two of those, I would rather see Rubik mid than Wyvern mid right now. I think Wyvern is... I mean, if you look at Dota 2 Pro Tracker, like, Wyvern's basically not played mid at all. Her really only core position is 3 at the moment. Honestly, just doesn't need that gold, because once you have an Orchid or a Oblivion Staff item, Hurricane Pike, and Ags, like, you don't really need a whole lot much more. And yeah, Center Rerun mid banning out 3s. They know this is either a core Wyvern or a core Rubik. They'll see where it goes. But they think that this 23rd pick is going to go towards 3s. Slark Puckerberg does ban out 1s.
Radiant team pick.
And they go ahead and pick up Brew. So, yeah. So it's Brew 3. Probably going to be Rubik mid and Wyvern 5. I'm not going to be able to nerd out about my Wyvern core, my Wyvern 3, which kind of sucks, but, like, yeah. I mean, this is just such an insane Rubik game. Like, you can't not pick the hero. You cannot not pick the hero with Warlock, Enigma, and Magnus showing. Like, you can't not pick the hero. Alchemist for center and mid. Yeah, COVID-25 on the Rubik. So it is Rubik mid, Phantasma on the Wyvern, so it is Wyvern 5. Sadly. Makes me feel sad. Don't get to cast Wyvern 3, god damn it. But, yeah, still, you know, I think it's a good Brewmaster game as well, honestly. Primal Split, very good at keeping a lot out of fights, and obviously Rubik combos well with the Cinder Brew. So, as well as the Drow combos well with the Cinder Brew, so I do think this does make sense. But I guess the question is, right, because COVID-25 had a really awful lane in game number 1. And was able to start to recover in some fights, but just kind of, you know, wasn't able to fully recover that game. Is now playing Rubik mid, is kind of the most important core in this draft. So he has a lot of pressure on him to perform this game, especially after that last game. Because if the Rubik does not do what he needs to do in the game, then the pick is wasted. But again, like, it is the, like, let me look at the win prob. Yeah, Dota Plus does favor this Rubik draft a little bit, 55-45. I mean, yeah, you have the Wyvern counter, you have the Rubik counter into the Enigma. So. It's actually J-Blade on the Enigma, so it's a Magnus support. Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure about that one. J-Blade had a good game last game, so I'm not gonna necessarily not say it's gonna be okay. But at the same time, I have not seen a whole lot of Magnus support. Like, I've seen it. I've played with it. But it's definitely not what I would... Like, if I saw the Enigma and the Magnus in the lane, with the picks on the enemy team showing, I would definitely put the Magnus support. Or, sorry, not the Magnus support. The Magnus core and the Enigma support. Enigma, I mean, again, especially a support Wyvern, because I talked about core Wyvern just kind of like dumpsters Enigma, but just because so much damage. But support Wyvern has even, I think, a better matchup in the core Enigma, just because you're going to get an Aether Lens, so you're going to be able to hit your, you just have to space very far away from fights, and then use your Aether Lens to curse the Enigma in the middle of the fight. It's not good. It's not good. I mean, I personally would have the Wyvern core, but you know, I do think that, like, the Rubik core is the more common option given how players typically play, because Wyvern 3 is a more niche pick than Rubik mid. But also, like, here in this lane, I would definitely have the Enigma be the support. Brewmaster ends up falling bot side for first blood. Fruitcake. able to get out of the acid spray. He is a bit faster than other side, but in comes the unstable concoction. Grabs it with his body. Actually, you know, it's 9-1 to 6-1. It's actually a much better lane for him thus far than last game. I'm knock on wood here. Actually, my table isn't wood. It's composite. But man, it's such an obvious route. I do not understand how you pick those three heroes and don't, or go into a draft with the plan to play those three heroes and just not protect from Rubik.
Now I'm feeling it.
Because it's such an obvious Rubik game, and Phantasma actually getting some damage on the Jayblade right now. Get on to Lilas. Phantasma taking up way too much damage from the Eidolons though, and gets taken down. The Eidolons still do a lot of damage on lane. Of course, Wyvern took Arctic Burn level 1. I think that's actually a mistake versus Enigma. You typically... You want to be able to have some way to clear these Eidolons when you're up against Enigma Core, and since it is Enigma Core, you know, having the extra % health damage burn is nice, but you know, having much better clear for the Eidolons, I think is much more valuable in this lane. So it does seem like a slight build mistake, but I don't play a whole lot of support Wyvern. I really only play her core. But just like from experience, right? It does track a little bit better towards Splinter Blast. And we're saying 13-1 to 12-2, so pretty even mid lane in terms of CS. Norbik mid is pretty tough to lane against as a melee hero, so President P doing an admirable job there. 5716X does find fruitcakes. Unstable concoction on Sakova. And Sakova was the one core of his team last game that actually had a decent lane. Now he's not. 6-0 to an Alk 14-4. Really, a lot of this just has to do with Brewmaster, not necessarily the best lane in the Warlock. It was like another one of those reasons why I wanted the Wyvern to go 3. I think she just has a better matchup in the Warlock than a lot of melee 3s do. As I said that though, other side gets a bit opportunistic. Acid Spray goes down. Talk about with the Cinder Brew as well as that double team and shards from Fruitcakes, but other side fueled up by the Warlock and gets out. There's 16 16 damage. Cinder Brew down, but the unstable concoction. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough lane for the Brew. It is definitely a tough lane for the Brew. Like, I understand the pick in the draft for the fights, right? That's why I was saying, like, I didn't hate the pick, but, you know, combination Alchemist Warlock, just really tough lane. Does not feel good. Enigma setting 21-16, which kind of to be expected for a core Enigma to have that many denies. 8-0 on the Drow, who now has farm camps. Again, yeah, and he went Cold Embrace level 2. I mean, I mean, yes, Cold Embrace level 2, you're gonna go regardless, but really. I think this lane is a lot different if Phantasma went Splinter Blast level 1. And Sakova and Tusk are just not having a good lane. President P on the COVID 25. Got some shields with that Resonant Pulse, but COVID 25 again, like actually having a lane for the first game of the series. Really didn't have a good lane and a lane at all in game number 1, and now the other 2 lanes are going very bad. Like if we look at the net worth, it is. I mean, Alchemist is going to do Alch things, but I mean, 1,500 gold each on Drow and Brewmaster. Each sitting, you know, 2,000 and 1,000 gold behind their enemy laners respectively at 6 minutes. Rubik also sitting 400 gold behind
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
on President P. Not great, but I mean, yeah. Because yeah, like Eidolons have this 242. Splinter Blast actually went the wrong way there. So Blade's just fine. 204 damage, and you do 80 damage at level 1, but eventually you do 320 at final level. And I mean, this is tough. This is really tough right now. President P makes their own bot, finds fruitcakes. I mean, it's only given 56% to center rerun mid right now because Dota Plus does not like artificial gold inflation, which you have on Alchemist. Eventually you're going to get very good at the end for this Drow in terms of scaling, as well as this Rubik, but I don't know, man. It is starting to look... I mean, last game looked pretty dire after laning phase 2, and they were able to make it competitive, but this game, I think, looks even worse for them after laning phase. I mean, COVID-25 actually is, like, pretty alright at the moment. That's the Rubik. And some damage going on the other side right now. Pops his ultimate. It's the Unstable Concoction onto 2.
Dire's top tower is under
He was being made mid lane from the Warlock and the Magnus. I mean, Fantasma's now making the right decision of maxing the Splinter Blast. Eidolon's HP maxes out at 240. Splinter Blast, level 3 damage is 240, level 4 is 320, so eventually you're just able to clear Eidolons. He defines COVID-25 on the mid lane. But yeah,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, realistically, 1-2-1 is what you should be at level 4 here, but
Are fortified.
I mean, you honestly could get away with 0-3-1 as the Wyvern. Dive mid lane with the rock. COVID-25 Astral Step onto President P. And some damage from the Warlock summons. Alright, Fade Bolt clear the way, but it's 6k gold at 9 minutes.
Dire's middle tower is under
I mean,
attack.
this Tusk only level 5, doesn't have Walrus Punch. Level 8 on the Warlock. I mean, he's higher level. Top 4, I mean, are all center rebound mid. Not Warlock. I mean, as you saw, the Pudge was also higher than any cores for Slark Parkerberg at some point last game, but... Oh, and the Aether Remnant on the Fruit Cakes. COVID-25, though. Astral Steps. Sabin, Snowball. Sakura makes his way in, but he doesn't have Primal Split yet. And this is really tough. And Phantasma's going all these save items too. I mean, this is just one of those games as Winter Wyvern where, like, yeah, go your Arcane Boots, but I would not go the Glimmer. I would just hard rush the Aether Lens because you need Curse in fights. You need to get it on the Enigma, and you need to be far enough away from him to not get caught in the black hole. And Winter's Curse just has such a short range without Aether Lens. It makes it really, really difficult to actually do a whole lot with it. Without it into this draft. With 25 going that Alacrity. Dota plus win probability 66% now. Astral Step for Astral Step. If the Remnant doesn't quite hit, 25 does take a bit of damage there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But he just can't defend this tower. It's 1v3. There's just unrelenting pressure
Dire's middle
from center to run mid.
fallen. Dire's
Meanwhile,
top
like,
tower
Drow's got a
is under
farm,
attack.
but actually does get the Alchemist off a play bot. Get the other primal splits, so. Might be trying to recover this game. Currently sitting as the poorest core, still sitting behind the enemy position 5. Does not feel great for the Drow Ranger. She has a Falcon Blade. And, of course, is able to farm with her Frost Air, or with her multi shot, but it's tough. Cinderbrew on 5716X, as well as Earn, Fruitcakes, dives under top with the Snowball, but the rock comes down onto both of them. Sakova does not have the Primal Split available, and PETA makes its way into the fight. Now gets that Shockwave out, and Pump fakes the RP, because he's stunned up by J-Blade, and it's just going to go down to the Eidolons. Actually, Skewer from PETA.
Horn that gold is precious beyond all measure.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Bleeding hasn't really been stemmed right now. I mean, this network just slowly climbing, now 72%. I haven't even talked about the Alchemist at the moment, who's got his Radiance already 12 minutes in, going into those BOTs. No, really, this unrelenting pressure just hasn't been answered. The Black Hole onto Fruitcakes, the Winter's Curse! Should be enough to kill the Enigma, and it is. Now PETA, skewers onto 2, Lilas here with the silence, in comes President P, COVID-25 here with the Fade Bolt as well, diving on the back line is President P, but he has to run away now. Something got stolen from him, it was the Resonant Pulse. Astral steps to get out of dodge, but it ends up being 2 for 1 in favor of Slark Puckerberg, and that's kind of what happened game 1. A little bit of an overstay from Senator Rerun mid, a little bit of playing without your farmed core. So there are slight signs of life, slight stemming of bleeding at the moment. Phantasma, of course. I mean, like, that's exactly what you do, right? Rubric, or Enigma goes in with Black Hole, you curse him. Just every single time.
Is under attack.
Without fail, and so long as he has Eidolons up, he dies, or comes very close to diving. And you're always going to be able to bounce your Splinter Blast off those Eidolons as well, so yeah. I always get giddy when I see an Enigma on the enemy team as a Wyvern. For very good reason. Sakova Primal Split. TP out from 5716, TP in from other side and company. Silence on the J-Blade, but Lilas in trouble. Fade Bolt lands on a J-Blade. They've got the damage, yes they do. But in comes the RP, lands on a 2, and now the Skewer out of the way from COVID. He goes down 2 for 1 now. Sakova getting damage on the PETA with that Spirit Vessel. Should be able to take him down. No, actually the DOT doesn't quite hit, and then comes the Shockwave. Sakova barely able to take down the Magnus before he falls, and now an Aether Remnant on the Fruitcakes. Down goes the Tusk as soon as the snowball's over.
The void minds not your existence, for the void minds not.
Yeah.
Harm unseen.
I mean, like, yeah, we were pretty firmly in shellacking territory. Now we're only moderately in shellacking territory, but still, you know, you're sitting at what basically amounts to like 666 gold per minute advantage. No, or
Dire's bottom tower
rock down, President P in trouble, but 2-man stun from other side, and goodbye. Just the Radiance does so much damage, as well as the upheaval.
Bounty.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It is what it is, man. Like, 81% win I mean, this is just going to continue to go. They're going to continue to snowball this game. I mean, really, I think the picks were fine from Slark Puckerberg. I honestly think, and Dota Plus agreed with me, I don't typically consult Dota Plus for draft prospects, but I honestly do believe that Slark Puckerberg had the better draft here. As the Wyvern goes down, Astral Step in the Rubik ends up being caught up by the stuns from Jayblade. He's trying to get away from the Primal Split. Silenced by Lilas now. COVID-25 might come back in, but he's stuck in the middle of that upheaval. They're still able to take down one. The Walrus Punch onto President P. COVID-25 in a little bit of trouble from other side right now, but he's chipped up by Pavis. Able to Astral Step away. I tried the Wyvern for the Enigma. I cannot fault the draft from Slark Puckerberg at all. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Sometimes, you know, I've heard rumblings that this is one of the higher MMR gaps currently in the tournament, or higher MMR gap matchups, so it's gonna happen. I think there have been some good moments from Slark Puckerberg this game, but let's see, Jayblade blinking in the COVID-25. Soul RP, other side makes his way in as well with his ultimate. Winter's Curse, though, should be able to kill Jayblade, and does. Fruitcakes will go down for it, though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, the Eidolons weren't around him, but
Dire's
Yalk
turret
was
has
with
been
the Chemical Rage, so. Down goes the Enigma. But as I said, I think Slark Puckerberg actually drafted quite admirably. Brewmaster, I think, was actually a pretty solid pick for 23rd pick. Maybe not exactly what I would have gone for personally. Like, as I mentioned, something like a Kunko would actually be pretty good as well. And it shifts the Wyvern to a core role, and I do think this is a better Wyvern core game than it is a Wyvern support game. But it kind of is what it is. If you don't have cores that play Wyvern, then you're gonna have to put your core on Rubik. COVID-25 actually did better in lane than he did in game number 1. Rock goes down onto 2. Stolen, though. Is the Chaotic Offering, and it comes back around on the other side, 57-69. Silence lands as well as Fruitcake with the knock-up. Phantasma's trying to make his way into the fight. The RP onto 3. Peter runs out of the way. His other side gets the Unstable Concoction on 2, and nobody has died quite yet in the fight. 57-69 might be the first to fall. Down goes the Warlock as President P dives in once again, caught by the Telekinesis. In comes the Snowball onto Peter, but the Rubik's down. So is the Wyvern, so is the Drow Ranger, and now Fruitcake's running away from President P. Unstable Concoction stuns him up right in time, and it's 4 for 1 in favor of Senator Rerun mid, and Peta stays alive. Cool as a cucumber, 60 health. Never doubted for a second. Never doubted for a second. Not even sweating, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and execute to the tower.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Didn't have TP up.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, basically 750 gold per minute advantage. 89%. Fruitcakes actually puts the shards between him and Alchemist. Bit unfortunate. Alch does have that Blink Dagger, though. Yeah, has gotten his Chemical Rage. Tag team. Blink away. The 25 going to that Aghanim set there, man. That's that's a bit dire. Man queued up a Phylactery and now is going Ags, and yes, Ags is very good on Rubik and very good on Rubik core. But like, you need the damage. You just outright need the damage from that Phylactery. Like, yeah, you're making your stolen spells better, but at the moment you've really only been able to steal Astral Step and only like one of those team fighting ultimates in fights because you've been focused by this Enigma every single time he's had Black Hole up. But obviously the Ags is good for both the Enigma and the Warlock ultimate, right? Phantasma, I think Astral Step by President P, but it was able to get a Glimmer Cape out in time. But, I mean, considering MMR gaps, I think Stark Puckerbird's playing pretty admirably. Again, their draft was actually very good. Like, I have, like, especially if the MMR gap is big, right? Being able to say, like, we outdrafted you, despite the fact that we're low MMR, is actually very good. Yeah, the draft didn't play out for them this game, because they just couldn't execute in the lanes, and the snowball was just too real with the Alchemist, but like, I do think they should be really proud of their draft. I think they should be proud of a couple of those fights early. When Wyvern's been doing very good at isolating the Enigma with the curses, always been able to get him down in these fights, which definitely very important to do. Stable Concoction. Self-stun on the other side. And then that Assault Caress as the Alchemist.
Of shadows.
And we continue to play the game out because it's Dota, and we love Dota.
Dire are scanning. Radiant are scanning. Double damage. Roshan has fallen to the Radiant. I'll take that.
Rubik. Just getting solo killed. Maybe not. Assimilate away.
Got it.
Let's see if I'm not in the shockwave. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, this Alka is just basically untouchable. Got BKB, Assault Cuirass will come on Courier as soon as he buys the plate mail. Not a whole lot left to say for sending a rerun mid here, as long as they don't throw it, but again, like Slark Puckerbird, there were a couple fights that they played actually pretty well. Just couldn't make the necessary things. And if I had a co-caster, I'd be talking about some other stuff right now, but fortunately hasn't been too much. Other side, Dives up on the high ground with BKB. He's just honey badgering right now. A lot of fruit cakes. In comes the rock. Down goes the Tusk and the solo RP on to Lilas. Gets the skewer back down. Good curse though. Ends up taking down the Magnus, but the Wyvern falls for it as well. And now going back onto the Drow Rangers, the rest of the team. Cove 25 steals Dissimilate. Able to get back onto the fountain, but my, oh my. 3 kills for 1. Buyback committed from Slark Puckerberg.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Back of that Spear Vessel on the other side, but President P has already dove on the Rubik, and Black Hole on 2. Rubik cannot even steal it in time. Goodbye. Fruitcake will be done by magic damage. Nope. Has to wait for the end of the Gold Embrace.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
So this was first round of the tournament. I believe this was the only game in the first round. We'll have 2 matches
Bottom barracks.
for the semifinals and then 1 best-of-3 match for finals. Center rerun mid. Not exactly sure who they'll be facing in the next round, but we shall see.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Other side. Blinks up. 2-man unstable concoction. Gets away.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Talk about Cinder Broom.
Middle barracks has fallen.
On other side. Struck by the Fade Bolt. Telekinesis. Back up. Other side doesn't have an Aegis. Pops his BKB though as Winter's Curse lands on the Enigma, and it's not going to kill him, and in fact, that means Jayblade's free to run rampant in the fight. He doesn't have Black Hole though, as he's going to get taken down and lose his Aegis. Winter's Curse only netting an Aegis, and the RP actually swinging a miss from Peta, misses the pump fake. Or misses it as there was a blink out of the way, but in comes the tips. Peta, I'm on Dire now. Points away from the shards. More than 1k a minute. Primal Split being committed is Jayblade. BKB's caught by the Walrus Punch though. Continuing to move up onto the high ground is other side as Stolen RP actually lands on 2, but Peta comes back around with the Skewer. Lila's trying to get damage on the Alchemist, but it's really not getting through whatsoever with that Radiance, and down goes the Rubik. Prison P diving in with the Astral Step. Ends up getting the Drow Ranger, and there's no Primal Split available from Sakava as he gets caught up. Saved by the Cold Embrace, but ends up getting taken down regardless.
Dire's top barracks has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
GG called. Center rerun mid will take
Dire's top
game number 2 and the series.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes MMR gaps just happen. This is an open tournament, pretty much. So, sometimes you could just get outskilled. I cannot compliment this draft enough, though. I think Slark Puckerbird did a very good job in drafts and showed a lot of awareness, kind of where things went wrong in their draft in game number 1. As well as, again, like, shout out to Phantasma on the Winter Wyvern, did very well. COVID-25 actually had some pretty decent plays on the Rubik, especially considering how poorly game number 1 went for him. Sakva did actually very good on that Lycan in game number 1 as well. And, you know, or sorry, yeah, and Lilas and Fruitcakes were pretty admirable in quite a few of those fights as well. So commiserations to them. They're out of the tournament. Center rerun mid will move on to match number 2. We'll be right back after a quick break. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back after this. Welcome on, welcome back to the CEA Winter Games Dota 2 tournament. We are in round number 2 between Bingo Carey's team and Senator We Run Mid.
5 seconds remaining.
Only about a 500 MMR gap-ish average between the two teams, so I've heard. Maybe 1,000. It's like 6.5 to 7,500. 6.5 to 7,000, 6.5 to 7,500, it looks like. For the MMR ranges we are looking at right now. Of course, Senator We Run Mid won the last series in a Facebook mirror matchup. This time around, they are playing up against Bingo Carey's team, which is actually a mix of companies. So we will see how exactly they stack up. Senator We Run Mid now first pick on the Dire side, and Bingo Carey's on the Radiant side with 24th pick. Tusk, Magnus, Lena, Bounty Hunter, the bands from Bingo Carey's team. All pretty strong heroes at the moment. Of course, that Lena is an absolute menace with the magic damage build. Then we're on mid, banning out Visage, Leshrac, and Earthshaker. Seems to be a little bit more targeted. Not the same bands that they had in the last series. And, you know, Visage, definitely a specialist hero. Leshrac's also very good right now. Can be played 2 or 3. I'm a 3 player, so I play at 3, but really, with that Diabolic Edict facet, doesn't push towers anymore, but does a lot of damage, especially early on if you max that Edict. Bingo Carey's team, though, they're picking into a Warlock from Senator We Run Mid. Did play this last game, and it was pretty good. Go for the ABBA. Bingo Carey's team now have to protect this ABBA pick. By that I mean they have to ban AA, because otherwise the game is kind of unplayable for the hero, but still a very, very strong position 5 pickup. Technically can be played 4, but typically in that 5 role, you know, going your Solar Crest Ags build, Holy Locket, all that stuff. Pumps out a lot of healing, still very good on the current patch, still quite fond of the pick. And yeah, to do what you want to do, you kind of want to ban AA. But we'll see if Bingo Carries actually wants to ban out something
10
else.
seconds remaining.
And perhaps they don't think that Scenario Run Mid is going to pick an AA with only
5
ABBA showing.
seconds remaining.
So we'll see how they do. Scenario Run Mid, though. The banned Drow Ranger. Makes me think that they want to go for Ursa potentially, but they didn't play Ursa in the last series. Now, the other team banned Drow, and they go for Timbersaw, so they're not really showing a whole lot in these bans. Drow's is obviously just generally good right now, so maybe not particularly looking for your Lifesteal or Ursa type of one, but definitely can be in their
10 seconds
wheelhouse.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Bingo Carries team. I mean,
Radiant team.
give her Brewmaster instead, so it doesn't seem like they're super afraid of AA. Probably, I mean, again, I could go either way. You could see it as a wasted ban, just banning one thing to protect ABBA, especially because Warlock's already been picked. But I literally had a game earlier today where I had an ABBA 4 and they picked AA mid into it, and then
Seconds
all of a
remaining.
sudden 1/5 of our draft literally could do nothing the entire game. So long as Arctic Blast was up, Ice Blast was up. Bingo Carries, though, they're going to opt for the Dawnbreaker, so picking their position 3. Seen a resurgence in Dawnbreaker recently. Very strong, has the facet that every 10 minutes basically gives you free vision of the map for a couple seconds.
10 seconds remaining.
Which is very, very nice to get that free information.
5 seconds remaining.
Senator rerun mid, though. They've got a couple decisions. Answering this Dawnbreaker is going to be a bit interesting for them. She's pretty tanky, she's pretty mobile. You kind of want something that's going to lock her down, make her not be able to do what she needs to do in fights. Any sort of high lockdown single target hero is going to be pretty decent to it. Doom is also very good. Also does well into the ABBA, because the ABBA can't heal the doomed target. But at the same time, you know, there are ways to draft around an ABBA, right? So Bingo Carries, they see Doom.
10 seconds remaining.
Or ways to draft around a Doom, I should say. The
5 seconds
thing that I always say with Doom is that if there's one hero that Doom's good against in a game, it's a very good Doom game. But the more and more heroes that Doom is quote-unquote good against on the enemy team, the worse Doom becomes. Because, yeah, you can go Ags and Doom multiple at the same time, kinda, but generally speaking, the more good Doom targets you have, the less effective an individual Doom is going to be in a fight. But Dooming Dawnbreaker definitely is very effective, prevents her from doing what she wants in fights, and obviously the ABBA can't heal her and she can't regen, so does seem to be a pretty solid pickup this time around. It's just a little bit early. I probably would have taken 1-5 or 1-4 here and then picked right before the second rotation of bans if I was going to Doom, just to see more what the enemy team has and if Doom is actually the right answer into it.
Radiant team pick.
Stare your death in the
We'll go
face.
ahead and pick up the Muerta 4, though. Obviously can be played 1 as well, but this early in the draft, we've already picked Doom. I think Muerta just makes more sense to be put in that support pickup. Gives you
10 seconds
AoE
remaining.
silences, which is nicer in team fights, especially against something like a Dawnbreaker, but she is going to go
5
BKB
seconds
eventually.
remaining.
And obviously that crowd control, Deadshot, very, very strong, and Muerta has a lot of ways to escape some of the damage that Bingo Carries is currently taking. Will say, obviously the calling not amazing, or it doesn't prevent a lot of the damage coming from Dawnbreaker particularly, but it does protect the Muerta from other right-click threats. Shadow Fiend, though, not one of those right-click threats that Muerta really likes seeing with the calling, so even more reason to think this is a support Muerta. Just those raises, I
10
mean, yeah,
seconds remaining.
not a whole lot for that. Shadow
5
Fiend,
seconds remaining.
good old staple, flexed 2-1. Bingo Carries have to pick 4 here. I'd have to imagine hold the Shadow Fiend flex and then pick the other position for 24th pick. You pick 4 into this. You see Warlock. Don't want to pick something that's going to have trouble against upheaval in lane, but at the same time, you're going to need to have something that can kind of get on top of him and make him, or pick at him from range maybe. Something like a Lich might be okay. So yeah, just because you don't see the one, you just want to partner something with the Dawnbreaker that is going to make it harder for the Warlock to play his lane, or the Warlock and his lane partner to play the lane. I think Lich is kind of the obvious choice, but I'm not a 4-player, so I think they definitely could have other options. Any sort of like ranged lockdown type of thing is probably going to be good. I would not expect, well, Tusk is already banned, but like I would not expect Tusk. Ranged lockdown 4s. I mean, you could go CM technically. Getting the mana battery for the Dawnbreaker and the Shadow Fiend does feel pretty alright, and Abba uses a lot. Instead, they go for the next Assassin. Has trouble, or has an answer to upheaval in the Spike Carapace, right? So does make the lane a little bit more bearable, but isn't necessarily the most aggressive position for. DK still on the table, going to be picked up +1 for Senator rerun mid. We did not see DK in the last 2 games, but he is probably the premier position 1 right now. Just generally very strong, farms up a storm, does a lot of damage. Normally going to go that Fire Dragon facet, but if you think a game's going to go super late, or you have a secondary carry threat, Ice Dragon is actually very, very strong late if you get into the ultra late game. But it's very much a situational facet, so expect Fire Dragon from Dragon Knight, as that is what's meta and what is most commonly going to be picked. Void Spirit Band out by Bingu Carey's team. I would expect they go Storm Spirit Band here as well, just kind of take out the 2 heroes that President P played in the last series. Especially that Storm Spirit. Instead they go for the Quap. This does seem to me that they want Center Rerun Mid to pick Storm. And President P to go on that hero. I mean, let's think. I mean, maybe you don't pick the Storm into the Shadow Fiend. Maybe the Center Rerun Mid doesn't want to take that matchup if it is a Shadow Fiend mid, but it does seem to me that that is the mid that we've seen thus far that Bingu wants Center Rerun Mid to play. President P had a good game on it in game number 1 of last series. And ban Tiny. Yeah, Sniper Tiny, to me it says that they think the Shadow Fiend's gonna go on. But what exactly do they pick here? I don't love Storm, so I don't think they're going to pick it. Maybe like Puck's okay, but Nyx Assassin's kind of gives a wrench into her plans, but it does give you lockdown for the Dawnbreaker, which you kind of need a little bit more of. They go for the Storm still. I'm a little bit diced out by this because there's a lot of ability from Bingu Carey's team to actually protect this Shadow Fiend, and he has a lot of self-peel and ways to deal with the Storm Spirit, so. But comfort is comfort, and he did very well in that game number 1 of last series. Bingu goes ahead and picks up the Spectre for himself. Still strong position 1 right now. Deals with a lot of skirmishiness that Bingu Carey's team wants to go with. Much skirmishier draft. They have 2 global ultimates. They're able to turn an equal fight into an unequal fight pretty quickly if Senator Rerun Mid isn't ready for it. And we are just about getting ready to get into the game. Okay. Dragon Knight, I mean, it's a very... Yeah, so the Shadow Fiend goes mid. Right, we already talked about that, but
what can you do?
Kind of if you match up in the Storm Spirit. I mean, again, I don't play mid. He's a very good Storm player, so really depends. Give me 1 second. I have to fix a setting. I'll be right back after this. There we go, setting has been fixed. Spike on to 5716X, and there's not a whole lot that can be done there.
The battle begins.
Wrap around. Nix do Nix things. Other side. Taking a lot of damage off the start, but he's got healing from that Warlock. Yeah, with Item Impale, already did what I needed to get first blood and actually bot side. More time that's up falling to the level 1. I would expect the Spectre Abba to have a worse level 1, especially because the Abba went to Photic Shield, so it does strike me as a little bit surprising that the Muerta ended up dying there. But yeah. Actually, Akka doing a very good job using his body in these waves. Kind of prevent anything else from coming and go away. Too far forward of the wave ends up paying the price for it, but Okrono is going to be a-okay with that. Getting on the CS under tower. That said, Storm Spirit actually having a very good lane. Shadow Fiend, 17-3 to 9-0. This is why I think they needed to ban that Storm Spirit, by the way. I think his laning was just way too good on it, and he was able to snowball pretty effectively. And if you want to pick a Shadow Fiend mid, you have to win the lane. You have to win lane in a Shadow Fiend. So if you're having trouble against the Storm Spirit in lane, you're gonna have some trouble. And they knew the storm was coming, right? Like no other way about it. And and then they had Shadow Fiend as a flex pick there too, so they opted into the Shadow into Storm matchup. So definitely thought it was going to go well for them, but at the CS numbers right now, President Pete currently sitting about double that CS as it stands. Moving in. Gets the impale on the other side and actually gets dragon tailed before he's able to get the hammer down, but still lands the knock up as 5716X tries to heal other side, but DK will die. No! Dodges behind the tree, the hammer doesn't land. Now 5716X might end up being the sacrifice. Other side regenning. Oh, nice tree dodge from other side. Really make him work for it. Gets the breathe fire on Chrono 1 auto attack, and 5716X gets the kill. Very, very close top side. Going in favor of Senator to rerun mid. In terms of pure MMR, they are less favored in this draft, as we already mentioned. About 500 to 1,000 MMR average difference between the two teams, but these are all high MMR players, so it becomes a point where there's a diminishing returns on that. I mean, even down to like my MMR bracket, right? Like I've seen like legend average teams beat ancient average teams from time to time. So, kinda anything is possible. Storm still winning the lane, but not nearly as hard as he was earlier. 28-7 to 21-1. SA has gotten 3 levels in the raise right now, 2 levels in passive, so or in presence of the Dark Lord. So he's all right. Doom currently setting 20-2 to 25-8 Spectre. So really, you know, lane's sitting about even in terms of CS denies. Shadow Fiend's losing out the most right now, but not by a whole lot. Go away, 5716X fighting for the water rune top side. Or, not the water rune, the 6-minute rune top side. Go away, getting some damage on 5716X. Shadow Fiend making his way in. Warlock in trouble. The first raise lands into the long raise. The impale knocks him up, and a couple auto attacks from SA takes him down. Jblade makes his way over, though. Gets the calling down. SI's able to dodge through it and avoid the silence. Shield rune, though. Go away. Gonna try to take it away for himself, and does. He will end up falling for it eventually as President P continues to zip forward. Dead shot lands. Can't get the last auto to do what it needs to, despite Carapace saving the next assassin. Oh. 40 and 8 Dawnbreaker right now to a 26 and 4 DK. This is actually a lot of CS advantage that just went the way of the Dawn. Kind of shot up. I wonder if she took a stacked side camp, maybe? Especially with that level. Yeah, especially with that level difference, maybe this large camp was stacked and she was able to take it. Or maybe DK just hasn't been able to get a CS. But either way, Dawn having a pretty good lane. Nothing about 10 CS up. Goes the hammer down, gets the knock up on 5716X into the impale, and nice mind flare for the kill. Meanwhile, TP coming in from the Storm Spirit, calling used bot side. Cerno might be in a little bit of trouble, but President P's here. He zips back onto Bingu. Doesn't have enough mana for the Electric Vortex, though, and Bingu is able to dive back under tower using that Spectre Dagger. Blade's still here. Doesn't get the ricochet off the dead shot, though. I don't know, still not level 6.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Invisibility.
Hey, okay, we're gonna look at net worth right now, and only 600 gold between the top and bottom core net worths. 769s are an invis rune. They know he's there, and go ahead, drop down the sentry. Yeah, level 6 though, so the rock and the dead shot. Will the golem land on a go away? I don't think it will. Go away should be able to get out. Getting that XP over to the Warlock, level 6, unable to really capitalize on that right now. 5 kills to 2, but again, this gold, pretty even. Doom's actually sitting at the bottom of the net worth chart right now. Just hasn't had a whole lot in the way of CS. He does have 1 point in Devour, but has been maxing Scorched Earth, so not getting as much bonus gold and really hasn't been able to take advantage of Devour at present. Favorably coming in, Crown falling, Cerno. Level 6 has mana available from the Lotus, so could use Doom if he wanted to, but did not in that particular instance. You know, a Chrono was losing a fight with a Golem, but the Golem ends up dying on its own accord. Doom being the poorest core, not something you want, but the Warlock is kind of making up for that at the moment.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
57-69 has had some very good games in the last two. Dawnbreaker does Dawnbreaker things. They see plays, or the stack up bot side, but they already saw that. I think you're actually stealing away the healing salve from the trusty shovel. Not a whole lot of action. We're at less than a kill a minute. At the 10-minute mark. Go away trying to soak XP mid lane. About to get Vendetta up. That's kind of where the fun begins. Put a Storm Spirit.
Is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
The push comes in onto safe lane T
Radiant's
once.
bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
That shot on Bingu. He doesn't have anyone to help him right now, but the Nyx is TPing behind. Should end up just being a trade of towers, though.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And used mid. They want to make sure they know where Shadow Fiend is. Dawnbreaker ulting back down bot side as the Muerta goes down. The rock falls, but unfortunately the double global presence just does not do enough for Senator rerun mid. Go away ends up falling at the end of this, and President P zips down. The Chrono in trouble. He actually falls. They end up going 2 for 2. The fight actually ends up going slightly in favor of Senator rerun mid, just getting the storm down there, but that global presence, I mean, we see it. That is kind of what you do if you have Shadow Step and Solar Guardian up at the same time. You use it. Turn even fights into uneven fights, or uneven fights into even more uneven fights.
What can you do? What can you do?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Chrono. Feared by the Muerta, but goes down. Go away. Currently sitting Vendetta.
Radiant's top tower.
Diving under the tower. Pierce the Veil from J-Blade. They're unable to land the Impale, and now Go Away's got to get out. Cerno's here. SA, Requiem of Souls. To break up the fight. Notice on DK sitting number 3 in net worth, now on number 2. DK do DK things, and DK do be farming. You want Yasha first item? I'm actually going first S and Y. not what I've typically been seeing. I've been seeing a lot of Armlet Mask of Madness type deals from Dragon Knights, but really anything that ups your attack speed is going to be very valuable because of the Fire Dragon. President P. Finds Archdruid Akka. Can't really make too much noise there. I'm still trying to work towards his Midas. And Spectre, do Spectre things. Steals a kill away. Making a 3v1 into a 4v1. Deadshot on Archer Akka. Goes ahead and shields himself with that Aphotic Shield. Moves up a bit further. President P finds the Electric Vortex, but in comes the Muerta, as well as Ochrono. Brock goes down, lands on 2. Jayblade in trouble, has to run away, but other side has made his way into the fight with the Elder Dragon form. End up taking down the Rock. Only the Doom has died then. He's back into the fight. Has the eponymous ability available to him. In comes President P. Doesn't land the Electric Vortex though, as the Impale stunned too. Calling from Jayblade to clear a ward. I believe when the gold is even, Dota Plus doesn't like giving, or when the gold is pretty close to even, Dota Plus doesn't like giving the advantage to the team with the Doom, especially if the Doom isn't at the top of the network chart. Still is poorest core, but
I almost feel strong again.
by the way, it does seem, 56-44, it's pretty much a dead even game. Cerno, I mean, he went first item Drums of Endurance, so didn't even go Midas Rush, so he'll eventually get that Midas, eventually get more points in Devour. Nice dead shot, pulls Ochrono into a Calling, but he gets out. Spectre does Spectre things, they find a DK alongside the next Assassin, no Impale available though, and he's able to TP out. Meanwhile, Doom, used on the Dawnbreaker, dodges away from the dead shot though, as Pierce the Veil gets used by Jayblade. Caught by Mind Flayer, still stays alive though, 5716X here, doesn't have Rock though, and Small Ass Cheeks has made his way into the fight. Now onto Cerno, nice dead shot though, keeps the Shadow Fiend running. These are very, very tense, but they haven't quite broken out into an all-out team fight quite yet. It's a bit more of a skirmishy draft from Bingu Carey's team. I just got that Midas coming on Courier. Other side, actually going first item Shadow Blade. Spectre jumping around. Doesn't quite kill a target. Go away, spots out the DK, and Jayblade a bit forward. Rock gets popped, Jayblade gets out. In comes President P, Electric Vortex on the Ochrono. Bingo's here though, trying to dive on a Jayblade. In comes the Solar Guardian, doesn't get the damage, but does lock down the Storm, who barely gets out, but gets taken out by the burn. Now Cerno sitting 1v5, running away as fast as he can, doesn't have Doom, and will end up falling. Goes over to the next Assassin, stealing it away with the Mind Flyer. Scumbag support, steal the kill away from your core. Still, rather large net worth swing, and really kind of shows, even with the global ability of the Spectre down, You're able to make use of that Solar Guardian.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's structures are fortified.
Double silence. Dead shot. Bingo away. President P runs out. J-Blade ends up being the sacrifice. Yeah, Orchid Malevolence completed on the Spectre. President P, though, spots out by Go Away off the Vendetta. Dice come in. Has Requiem of Souls. Going Shadow Blade first item, but President P has enough mana regen to get away. Using a regen rune. Zip it from President P. Trying to get a Chrono. Gets the Electric Vortex. Should be a dead Dawnbreaker. Comes back around with a two-man knockup. Pulled back into the hammer. And the Mind Flayer kills one. Down goes the Dawnbreaker finally as Archduke Anka ends up falling without his ultimate up. Goes 2 for 1 in favor of Senator. We run mid.
Dire's middle tower has been
Still, that should have just not even gotten a Warlock kill. Very nice play. Tengu Shadow steps towards Storm, but cannot make the kill. Yeah, they have to get that silence on the Storm Spirit first. He's actually going Yule Scepter, though. Notices the Orchid, knows that the only real way he ends up going down right now is if he gets silenced. So grabbing that basic Dispel. Pretty strong. Shadow Blade completed by other side, going into that Silver Edge first item. You have Spectre in the enemy team, so you're going to go Silver Edge. Although I will say you already have Doom, and Doom do be Doom. Tormentor ends up killing Warlock, but he gets a shard anyway. Yeah. I mean, Doom doesn't apply break, right? But so they're gonna just try to get the break onto the Spectre. And kill her through her passive.
Stupendous!
Other side sitting richest core right now, as you do on DK. Still about 1,000 gold away from that Silver Edge, though.
Tribute to my house.
Doom has the max points in Devourer. He's got his Hand of Midas, but he still has the poorest core. He's not what you want to be as Doom, but he's going BKB. The other side keeps on farming.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Now Smoke. Senator rerun mid.
Dire are scanning.
It's gonna be a little bit dicey. Both Solar Guardian and Spectre alter up. They get the Doom onto Shadow Fiend. They're just gonna let him die. Actually looking for more.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe up on high ground. Go away. Spots him out on Vendetta. I actually look for 5716X, but decides against it. TP's coming in towards the Dawnbreaker. Still, though. Shadow step up and down goes the Muerta. $2K gold line now for Senator. We run mid. Really, I feel like this is... We saw it go one way and then go the other. Silver Edge completed for other side. He's going to feel very nice into the Spectre now. And... I mean, Doom and Storm Spirit are only 1200, 1300 gold behind the next richest core that isn't DK. Hard time pot. But yeah, still very close game. Really kind of waiting for moves by either team. SA's got a silver edge. His Vendetta from Nyx. The Lotuses just have not taken either pool this game.
Radiant are
If I see
strong.
6 Lotuses in one pool and 4 in the other, I'm starting to think, is it...
Dire's
I'm
top
starting to
tower
hoard
is
these,
under
right?
attack.
Because at that point, you're halfway to block of cheese. Which would be very nice to have on a Spectre this game. It's not... Yeah. And the healing... like, a greater Healing Lotus's utility on its own is very strong, but it's one of those things where if you see enough of these Healing Lotuses on the map, and I typically... If I see both pools have been completely ignored, and they both have 6 Lotuses, I'm 2/3 of the way to a block of cheese, so I'm gonna go for it. But I'm also weird. I like it. I think most players high level just don't really care about the item because you need to kill Third Roche to get it anyway, and you know, all that other stuff. Bingo in trouble though. Manta dodges to get out of the way to silence. Solar Guardian comes down, but there is no saving the Spectre, and now Dawnbreaker kind of all alone. SA's made his way onto the side, trying to get the raises onto Jayblade, who's in through the ultimate. 5716X tries to kite away. It's taken down by Okorono, as well as Jayblade. Supports go down for the Spectre. Other side trying to kite out. President P has that Yule Scepter, as we already mentioned. They'll just decide not to take a fight. Never mind, President P back in on Okrono, getting some more damage with that DD rune. Other side around, broken up though, ends up being stunned by the impale and is very low. Down goes the DK. Borrowed time popped on Archer at Akka. And it goes both ways with the break. Break the DK, he is not happy. Same thing with the Spectre. And I find Cerno. Vendetta. And some more damage. Centaur Stomp might save him. Nice dead shot though, but Cerno, he's broken. Down he goes. One more auto attack will do him in. And now the dive under tower from Okrono gets the 3-hit shot. Down goes one support. Down goes the other. 4-4-0.
Tower has fallen.
And Bingo carries team. They're like, we have Silver Edge.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We have Manta. Like, this is our timing. Mage Slayer BKB too. I actually Mage Slayer BKB and going into Heaven's Halberd, so yeah. It's a good trigger pull from Big Terry's team. They've realized that they've hit a timing. They've realized that the only person on center or mid that actually has a lot of gold is this DK. And, you know, they take him out of the fight, they use that Silver Edge on him, and all of a sudden, like, no longer gets the AoE attacks, no longer gets the Dragon's Blood passive, so really, really nice from them. And another Shadow Step. Bit of a dive, and the last hit from the Orchid ends up killing the Doom. Heaven's Helper completed on Chrono too. This is rough. This is actually really rough right now because you Heaven's Halberd the DK, he can't get it off of himself. You can Heaven's Halberd the Storm Spirit, and all of a sudden he's not able to get any Overload procs. So, really, kind of twofold there. Most likely going to go on the DK. You're going to be able to kill the DK now because you have the Silver Edge, and even more, you have a Bloodthorn. So, getting True Strike on top of them as well, and really anyone who wants it. And Go away goes ahead and solo kills the support. That Bloodthorn, of course, yeah,
The lesson for you.
still can be dispelled by President P, but isn't amazing. Shadow Step
Dire's top
on
tower
Muerta.
is under attack.
Down she goes.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And thus is the game about timings.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Something we don't typically see all that often in lower MMR pubs, like mine. As you know, this idea of a timing dependent draft where, okay, all three our cores have hit a timing at the same time. We're going to go ahead and fight. We're going to do this, but we're not fighting before that. And that's really what Bingo Carriers teams has been able to do here. The dive onto Okrono right now. The rock ends up falling, but Bingu's into the fight. Tries to get on top of President P, who zips out of the way. They've already taken on the tower, and they've taken on the golem as well. Other side is here. He's silver edged up. Looks for a way to break. Can't quite do it. Instead goes on top of the Nyx assassin, who's on 57-16x. Barely staying alive, and he ends up falling. Okrono's here. Gets the Solar Guardian. They keep chasing the Storm Spirit. He's all the way back in Fountain as Bingu picks up a double kill. Back comes President P from the dead, off the buyback, back into Bingu. He's going to be healed up for the time being. The Nyx assassin goes down, as does the DK.
Radiant's
And Bingu still has
Dire's top barracks are under
his
attack.
Aegis. Just absolutely devastating. Bingu. He's just playing with his food at this point. Not really playing with his food. He's fountain guarding, which is exactly what you need to be doing as the rest of your team starts ravaging the base. They have a glyph available to them, but they really, like, they're so strong right now. I could see them try to do more damage on the base. Like they're gonna back away. Actually, SA, he's playing out a bit far from the rest of his team. Zip on from President P. Take down the Shadow Fiends, at the very least. But Spectre, oh no. The poor Muerta gonna go down. Nope, just barely stays alive. Just a bit of an overstay from Bingo Carry's team. I think SS positioning there just was a little bit suspect, but ended up working all right for them. Cerno. Doom on to Okrono. Disarms Cerno with that Heaven's Halberd. Other side,
Dire's middle
making his way in. Blink, stun, in comes Spectre. Now onto Cerno, but other side's here. Tries to get the break, but himself, he gets knocked up by the Dawnbreaker, and now the Solar Crest is here. President P picks up the Nyx on the backside of the fight, and the other side running away from Bingu as fast as he can. J-Blade ending up helping out with the stuns, but meanwhile, they lose their doom. Bingu can't quite find President P. They want to find other side potentially. Shadow Fiend up in 5 seconds. Down onto J-Blade. Ends up getting himself out with Ghost Scepter, trying to continue to kite. The other side now has his Silver Edge available, but so will this Shadow Fiend as he's back up. Dive onto the high ground from Okrono. Gets the spell immunity, but ends up stunned up by other side and broken up as well. Meanwhile, though, President P ends up finding the Abba. The Dawnbreaker goes down, but so does the Muerta. And now Bingu is all alone. Still has Aegis for another 55 seconds, but SA's made his way into the fight. Requiem of Souls on to 2. There's got the silence on a President P, but he's able to get out with 8 of the rock. Bingu still has the Aegis available to him. Might end up falling and losing it for the first time, and does. SA now in trouble in a 2v1 on the side of the fight, but Go-Away's here. He's got the Vendetta. He gets the damage in on the other side, but not enough to kill him, and the SF goes down into his ult. Cerno now running away. Shadow Step seals his fate. This game has turned very skirmishy very quickly.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Gold lead goes the way of Senator Rerun, or gold trade goes the way of Senator Rerun mid. The win probability was 91% while they were up on that high ground. It's now dodged down to 85, but Still, you gotta be a bit careful. The Shadow Fiend, if the Shadow Fiend were up when that fight were taken, I think Bingu Carry's team just wins. But because they're still waiting for the Shadow Fiend respawn, and he has to run into the fight, really just didn't work out well enough for them. That other side, I mean, very opportunistic in that fight. Blinks in, gets a lot of damage in. Just in the middle of everyone else with the Elder Dragon form. That Silver Edge wasn't going to be broken, was always going to have that cleave, was always going to have that armor and regen. But still, 3 of the top 4 net worth are Bingu Carry. And Doom's still the poorest core.
Radiant are scanning.
Archdemon Akka. Actually, Holy Lock and Solar Crest not going Ags this game. I goes Pipe instead. I understand the idea behind it, but you already have a Mage Slayer on the Dawnbreaker. So you can kind of get anti-magic damage in that way. Anti-spell damage, at least. But if they don't think the Dawnbreaker's going to be able to apply that to enough people at enough times, the Pipe makes sense, but... I think there's an argument that can be made either way. SA in trouble, though. Bot side. Doomed, and he will die. President P with the kill. Bingu, though, smells blood in the water. Shadow steps on top of President P, and now J-Blade, but he's stunned up by the rock. Continues to dive, though, on the rest of this team. J-Blade gets out with the Pierce the Veil. Bingu now going for that Nullifier, too. Identifies the need to get it against Muerta and against President P, as his only dispel is that Eul Scepter. He did not go BKB.
Maybe it's a bait.
The Nullifier is going to be
Dyer's middle tower has fallen.
very nice for the Spectre. Now has Haunt, as well as the Shadow Step with the Aghanim Scepter.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
And another Shadow Step from the Spectre. Doesn't quite get Muerta. Gets out of dodge. Muerta goes on the Pierce the Veil, pulls down the Calling. Can't get the Dead Shot down. But DK doing a lot of damage to the next assassin, and down he goes. Nullifier complete, though, for Bingu. Shadow Step again, just using it on cooldown. Nearly takes out Cerno, but he's got a BKB.
Dyer are scanning.
Shadow Step again. Spectre. Smoke out from the rest of this team, though. Rock a bit late.
What can you do?
I'll actually Haunt, not Shadow Step. They have the same sound effect!
I'll be making plays like that all game.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
Get out the rock.
Are scanning.
Playing towards Roshan. Chrono just a little bit early to the pit. Roshan spawns. Don't quite see it. In comes the Shadow Step on a 5716X. Manto Illusions won't quite kill him. Just, so unfortunate for them, not able to get that Aegis.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Think he finds Cerno. And it goes. President P runs into the fight, but in comes the Dawnbreaker. They end up popping his Lincolns. Go-Away's here. Finds him on the backside. Down goes the Storm Spirit, and there's nothing he can do. Now it's just the DK versus the world. He pops his BKB. Tries to get out with that Shadow Blade. Ochrono keeps chopping up. His 5716 goes down. J-Blade next. Other side in trouble. Knocked up by Ochrono, but he does get the Dragon Tail. The Dagon nearly kills other side, and the GG's been called. Bingu Carry ends up taking game number 1 in this best-of-3 series. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome all, and welcome back to the CEA Winter Games Dota 2 second round matchup between Bingo Carey's team and Senator Rerun Mid. My name is Fennec, and we're ready to go. Normally, when I solo cast, I don't cast draft. I've been doing that the last 3 games. My voice is kind of starting to fade, so I'm actually going to mute myself for this draft, and then I will return once the draft is over to cast the game. So I'll be right back. Go ahead and watch the draft, and you can make your own commentary on it if you would like.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. League's assassin. Radiant team ban.
Clockwork!
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Witch Doctor!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Oracle.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Night Stalker.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
It's a warrior.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Radiant team ban.
The sack.
Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Tusker!
Choose your hero.
Hello. We're now getting ready to go. Game number 2.
What can you do? What can you do?
Prepare for battle.
So Bingu actually swapping the mid lane. On that last rack.
Continues.
This time around. Smoke on... No smoke action. Quickly popping up the high ground. The smoke ends up popping. J-Blade, battery assault. The impel lands, but in comes the rest of the team. They still got this Huskar. Go away dies for first blood.
Don't think ill of me.
30 seconds to battle.
Oracle Root on the other side. Chain Lightning, but he's okay.
The battle begins.
Ends up being 3 runes to send her to run mid, in addition to First Blood, so already off to a better start than last game for them.
Mom, get off the Wi-Fi. I'm lagging.
What can you do? What can you do?
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Impure.
Yeah. My, I got a bit distracted there. $950 16x. Other side. The Maledict as well. Should be able to survive the Maledict, as the Medusa went down bot. Oracle in trouble. Battery Assault, Timber Chain, and Swirling Death does aim the Oracle. In an attempt to make a play on the Clockwork, didn't quite work out. I'm gonna need to stop, honestly. I'm very sorry, I just...
Dire's structures are fortified.
yeah. I have the situation that I need to take care of. I will cut out the stream. Have a good rest of your night.